Okay, we're live. Awesome. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for holding on while I got everything set up. So we're all set up now, and I can't wait to start. If you're here and you can see the chat, please go ahead and say your name, talk about what you do, and where you're tuning in from. Okay, so I see that we're live. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for joining me on this Friday afternoon. I'm here in Jersey, so it's pretty nice outside. The weather's awesome. And cool. So I'm excited to see you guys hopping in. Sylvia says, hello, Happy New Year. Sylvia is from South Florida. Awesome, that's so cool. We got some people from Florida, got some more people from Jersey, Jenna from New York. Cool. Awesome, guys. So we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I just want to give everyone time to get settled and pull up your Plan Your Business Goals workbook, which is also in the chat. So there's a link to it. If you haven't downloaded it or printed it out, you could go ahead and click the link in the chat. It's a Dropbox link that will allow you to download the workbook instantly so you can follow along as we go through the webinar. So tell me a little bit about what you guys do, and then we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Denise from Oregon. Oh, that's awesome. How's the weather in Oregon this time of year? So cool. What do you do, Sylvia, and what do you do, Denise? Are you guys looking to start businesses? Are you hoping to redo your business and do better this year? Do you have some big goals you want to accomplish in 2017? Let me know. And let me know if you guys can hear me well. I hope you guys can hear me okay. So I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between the chat and the webinar itself, so you guys can ask questions at any time. I want this to be a little bit more interactive than most webinars, and I want to talk a little bit about how this webinar is going to work. So I do Alice from Poland. Oh, that's so cool. Hi, Alice. Thanks for joining us. What time is it there in Poland? Looking to improve your business. You're a life breakthrough coach. Oh, that's awesome. It's awesome, Sylvia. I hope that we can help you out today. And definitely do write down questions. You guys can write them in the chat, or you can write them down and ask them at the end of the webinar, and we could talk specifically about your business. Cold in Oregon, looking to start a business this year. Awesome. 9 p.m. in Poland. Wow. So we'll be out of here in about an hour. So I want to go through a little bit of planning your business. We're going to go through marketing plans. We're going to go through financial goals. We'll talk a little bit about business ideas. So we have that all planned for you here today. And I'm just giving people a couple of moments. But before we begin the webinar, I want to talk about how this webinar is going to work. So if you're familiar with webinars and workshops, or you've seen one, or you've been a part of one, everyone seems to do the same thing where they go through the webinar and they have some valuable content, and then towards the end, what they do is they pitch their product. So in my webinars, I do not do that. I do not pitch any product. All I do is go through the content with you guys, make it as valuable as possible. We'll go through the Q&A, and I'll tailor all the content you learned today towards your business, and we'll figure it out together. But I will not pitch my product. I think a lot of you guys have followed me for a while, and you guys know that I'm launching a product, but it will not be pitched. I don't want to take away from the value of this webinar. So that's why I'm not going to talk about it. But it is available, and it's launching January 14th. It's called the Do It Yourself Business Plan, and it goes into more extensively this webinar that we're going to do today. But that doesn't mean that you need to purchase the course or the program in order to get anything out of this. If you're here today, you're going to learn something, and I hope that you can apply it to your own business, and you can apply it to starting your own business as well. So I won't be pitching my product, but you guys know it's there. And if you guys want to learn more, you can click on the link on the bottom. But if not, that's totally fine. We're here together now, and we're going to figure out your business today. Cool. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my presentation, and you guys can download the Plan Your Business Workbook through the Dropbox link at the very top of the chat. And let's pull it up. So let's share my screen with you guys. Awesome. So I can pull up my pull this up. I think you guys can see this. Okay, so let's see. Just want to make sure that you guys can see. Let me know in the chat if you can see my slides. Sometimes Google Hangouts has a little bit of a lag. Just want to make sure you guys can see it. Awesome. So we'll get started. Great. Let me know at any moment if you cannot see it, if it disconnects, anything like that, and I can figure it out as we go along. We are still connected, correct? You can still see me? Awesome. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Great. I'm going to check on my own cell phone just to be extra sure. Perfect. Great. So let's get started, guys. Okay. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and introduce myself. I know I didn't do this earlier when you saw my face, but I want to do it now so that you guys can get a feel for what I do and why I do it. So my name is Zobia Alvi, and I'm a web developer. I've been a web developer for about 8 years. I've ran that as a business for 4 years, did some freelance for the other 4. I also teach people how to start their own businesses and teach them how to strategize their business to reach certain goals, and also do some business coaching where we really clarify what it is that you sell, what it is that who it is you sell to, and we go deep into your financials and your marketing plan so that we can further improve your business. So that's a little bit about what I do. And I created the do-it-yourself business plan as a way to teach people how to start their business the right way. I see a lot of different resources out there, and so many of them teach you what the next new thing is that you need to do in your business and things like that. And I really wanted to show people what fundamentals they need first. So when they start their business, they don't feel lost. They don't feel helpless. They don't feel as if what they set out to do isn't working for them, that they actually understand the basic concepts of starting a business, and they're able to understand what it is they need to do personally without listening to anyone about what the next new thing is, and figure it out on their own so that they're able to progress their business on their own terms, on their own path, in their own way. So that's a little bit about what this webinar here today is going to be about. So we're going to plan your business for success today, and we're going to figure out what it is that you need to do personally in your own business, and if you're starting a business, what it is you want to do. So we'll help you figure that out today. So if you guys can quickly let me know in the chat what types of businesses you are running, or what types of businesses you want to start, what industry it might be in, or if you have an idea, let me know that you have an idea and you just want to figure out where to start. So if I can just get a 1 if you have a business and you're just looking to improve it, a 2 if you're looking to start a business and you have an idea but you haven't started it yet. So let's get 1s and 2s in the chat. So again, 1 if you have a business and you're looking to grow it and do better, and a 2 if you're looking to start a business and you just have an idea at the moment. So put a 1 or a 2 in the chat so I can get a feel for the type of audience that's here today, the type of business owner that I'm speaking to. Go ahead and put that in the chat, guys. 1s and 2s. Denise is a 2. Awesome. Denise has an idea and wants to start a business but hasn't started it yet. That's great. 1. Sylvia's a 1. Awesome. Cool. So we had a mix. Alice is a 2. Cool. So we have a mix here today of people that want to start businesses and have ideas and haven't started it yet, and people who have a business but are looking to grow it and do better with it. That's great. I'm so glad that you guys are here today, and I really hope you guys learned something out of this. So if you have any questions at all, please go ahead and ask. You can ask me absolutely anything. Nothing's off limits. I can talk about experiences in my own businesses so that you guys can get a better feel and really learn something today. Okay, so introduction. During this month, and especially this week, everyone's talking about New Year's resolutions. And it happens every single year where everyone says, oh, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to redo my business so that I make my first 6-figure income this year. And I like this time of year because I love the enthusiasm and I love how people are setting these goals, but a lot of these goals just die off at the end of the month, and that's not something you want. If you're looking to start a business, you want to keep going past January. And if you're looking to redo your business so you can do better, you're looking to keep going as well. So your business is waiting to be built, and your business is waiting to flourish. I want to take your business beyond just setting one goal for New Year's and just letting it go. We want to put your business together and do those things that you want to do and accomplish those goals that you want to accomplish. Hi, Jessica from New York City. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so our plan today is to outline your plan in the Plan Your Business Goals workbook. Again, the link is at the top of the chat. You can instantly download it if you haven't already. And we're going to understand your business metrics. We're going to understand your sales, your revenue, your profit model, what's working, what isn't. And if you haven't started a business yet, we're going to figure out what that might be. We will figure out what your products are going to look like, what your services are going to look like, how to price them, how to figure out whether what you're selling is working for your clients and customers, and if it's not. And we're going to plan your business goals for the future and also learn how to create realistic projections as you go along. So beyond this webinar, you're going to keep going, and I hope you strive for bigger and better goals. And I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to set realistic projections here today. And there's also going to be a Q&A session at the end. So you guys can ask me absolutely anything during the webinar and even after. So you can save your questions for the end, or if you'd like to ask during the webinar, that would be awesome. We're here for this 1 hour, and we can go a little beyond if you guys want to stay a little longer, but I want to get as much value out there to you so that we don't focus too much on the content and the slides that I have today, but focus more on your business. Okay, so here's a quote that I love, and I had no idea who wrote this quote until after I looked it up. Her name is Mary Kay Ash. I'm not too sure who she is, but I love this quote, something that had been back of my mind since I started my business back in 2013. So ideas are a dime a dozen. People who implement them are priceless. And this is something that sticks with me because I have a lot of ideas, and I'm one of those people that has so many ideas, and I get started on each and every one of them, but I never execute well enough, or I never finish them off. I dip my toes into a million different buckets, and I never really take it off, or I never really do anything beyond that. And I'm not sure. Oh, Jessica, you're a 1. Awesome. I'm not sure how many of you here today are also idea people, where you have all these great ideas, all these different things you want to do, but you haven't really figured out which one to execute, or you haven't really figured out how you're going to execute all of them. And execution is hard, but the ideas are a dime a dozen. And if you don't work on your idea, and you have this great idea that you're just sitting around with, somebody else might do it before you do. And once they execute, it becomes their idea. So ideas aren't worth anything. What's worth something is the business you create out of it, is when you execute those ideas, turn it into profitable businesses, or you create them into goals. Denise, you have tons of ideas. Yeah, I feel you. And I have new ideas every single day. But what makes your business successful wouldn't be the amount of ideas you have. It'll be the amount of ideas you actually go out and put out into the markets, the ideas that you actually go out and show the world. Those are the ideas that are going to be worth something. And so you being someone who implements them, that's where the value is. People who implement them are priceless, but ideas are a dime a dozen. So this was a hard lesson for me to learn, especially as someone who constantly wants to do different things. And really starting a project and then finishing it, that's where you're going to see the rewards you want. That's where you're going to set goals where you can make a certain amount of money, or you can set goals where you have a certain lifestyle. With your idea, none of that is possible until you execute. So don't do this. Don't have great ideas and aha moments and do nothing to execute it. Don't start to execute it but not move forward. Go ahead with your idea. Take one idea. Pick one that you think will work in this moment, that you think you can work on now, and keep going with it. Start executing. You're going to learn so much in the journey of creating your business and figuring out what it is you need to do to go into market and to really make the goals that you want to make, whether you want to make a certain amount of money or you want to quit your day job or something like that. You're not going to have that unless you take those ideas and move forward and execute with it. Okay, so let's talk shop. In your business goal workbook, you'll see this page where we talk about your business, and we kind of do like an overall picture of what your business is like. So I'm going to pull up that page so I can talk a little bit more about it. And we're pretty much going to talk about your clients and your customers, and we're going to talk about your business and your revenue model. So let's go ahead and do that. If you're following along with the workbook as well, you're going to go to, I believe it's page 3. I'm opening it up right now so I have it and we can follow along together. Do you guys have any questions so far? If you do not hesitate to ask. I'm happy to answer. It's actually page 2. Okay, so we're just going to talk about your business. We're going to talk about what your business does, what products and services you provide, why you started your business, and brainstorm what direction you envision your business going in. So we're going to answer these questions. We're going to answer, who does your business serve, your clients and your customers, what your business means to you, why are you starting this business, what does your business do, and if you have your workbook printed out, you can go ahead and write these in the box that's provided for you. And if you don't, just grab a piece of paper or pull up a notebook inside, pull up like a note tab on your laptop or computer, or just regular pen and paper, and you could just jot these things down. By writing it down, I think you're going to feel more focused on what it is that you want to do, and you'll actually start defining your business, which will be great. So whether you have a business or you're looking to start one, I suggest that you get out a pen and paper or open up a little notebook on your laptop or computer and just start doing this with me so that you can get the most out of this workshop and that you can actually have and walk away with something already planned and a direction to go in. So what is your business? What does it mean to you? And you want to be honest with yourself and really ask yourself whether you think this business would be profitable, how you think you can profit from this business, and then we'll go into a revenue model where we'll talk about how you're going to make those sales, how you're going to bring in income to sustain your business, and how you're going to make sure that you are being profitable as well. Okay. I'm going back into the chat in case you guys have any questions. Okay, cool. So let's do that. So I'm going to give you guys an example, a couple of examples, so you can start doing this with me. And I want you guys to really write this down. I want you to write down who you want to sell to, what your business does, and what it means to you. Why do you want to start this business? And how you think you're going to make money with it. So those three things: clients and customers, your business, and your revenue model. Write those three things down, and I'll give you a couple of examples. So in my business, I serve bloggers and creative entrepreneurs. So those are my clients and customers. And my business is web design and development for creative entrepreneurs and bloggers. And I also help them strategize their business as well. Why I do it? I do it because it's something that I love to do, something that I've always done, and it's something that I continue to do in my day-to-day life. Whereas I'm growing my own business, I'm helping clients grow theirs. So my revenue model would be the web design clients I get one-on-one, the business strategy clients I get one-on-one, and also the courses that I create. So that's my revenue model. That's how I make money. That's how I sustain my business. And those are the things that I do to keep my business afloat. Another example, let's say you're a product photographer and that's your business. And you do this because you love photography and you also love working with other entrepreneurs and small business owners. You target, and your clients and customers are e-commerce shop owners. So let's say our e-commerce shop owner's name is Christy, and Christy sells jewelry. So my business as a product photographer is that I take pictures of her jewelry. And the way I make money is I am a one-on-one photographer for her products, and I also sell stock photography. So that's another example that I created. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you guys are following along and if we're still live and connected. And if you guys have any questions at any time. We are on slide 7. If you guys get logged off, remember that the password is live in case you need to get access again. Awesome, guys. Do write these things down as we go along. I want you guys to get most out of this webinar, and the way to do that is to follow along and write your own business ideas down. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to your financial snapshot. So this is page 3 of the Business Goals Workbook, and we're going to specifically talk about how much you're spending. So I did this a little differently. I did this a little differently for a reason. Page 3 talks about revenues, and page 4 talks about expenses and your profit margin. I want to talk about expenses first, because if you haven't started your business yet, or you're looking to expand your business, you want to look at your expenses before you start creating revenue goals. And I say this because you want to look at the money you're spending on your website, on your software, or how much you're spending getting each client or customer your way. You want to look at those things so you can figure out how much money you can possibly make. And by looking at your expenses first, you'll have a better picture of what it is you need to do in order to achieve certain revenue goals. So let's say your expenses for the first month of running your business is about $200. Now that's pretty low. But as an online business, that's pretty acceptable. So if you're in the service-based industry, $200 is probably the ballpark as to how much money you're going to spend on running your business. So your revenue goal might be $1,000. Now that means you make $800 in profit, but unless you knew your expenses, you wouldn't be able to project your revenue goal, because it would just be an arbitrary number. This will give you a ballpark as at least how much you have to make. So we're going to start with expenses first. So this is page 4 of your business goal workbook. We're going to talk about how much you are spending on your business. So before you start your business, you want to figure out what it is you need and how much you're going to need to run it. Of course, you're going to need a website, and in this day and age, I don't have to say that to you guys, but a lot of people still struggle to set up their website. And as a web designer, I know that there are easy alternatives for you to just get up and running. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your website doesn't have to be the exact thing that you had in mind, but it just has to be up. And it just has to be simple enough for your potential client or customer to understand and navigate through. So if you want to set up a website, you can start with Squarespace, which is a great software for $16 a month. There you go. So that's one expense you have down, $16. Then you want to look at your software. So if you're running I believe someone here in the audience has a life coaching business, which is awesome. And with that, you're going to need certain software. You're going to need a calendar software so your clients can book you. You're also going to need an invoicing software. So that's also something that counts as your expense, because you're using other software in order to run your business efficiently. And you want to make sure that you have all these costs down so that when you bill your client, or when you figure out what price point you're going to start charging at, whether you're charging per hour or a fixed rate, you want to find out how much it's going to cost to help that client. So you're going to need a website, you're going to need calendar software, and invoicing software. So those are some software costs. And of course, client and customer acquiring costs. How much is it going to cost you to find your perfect client? How much is it going to cost you to go and advertise to customers? Of course, ads and hardware. What are you going to need in order to do your service, or what are you going to need in order to provide your products? So let's take a look at my own business as an example, and have that laid out right here. Heading over to the chat a little bit. Awesome. Do let me know if you guys have any questions at all. I'm here to answer all of them for you. Okay, so we're on slide 9 on expenses. So this is a little bit of my own business. This is one way for you to organize this in your own workbook, or you can just jot these things down. It's pretty simple. You only need 5 categories: the date of expense, the company that the expenditure is going to, 4, just a brief description as to why you're buying this product or this service, the amount it costs, and whether it's reoccurring or when it's reoccurring. Those are just some basics that you need to know about each expense that you have. So here are some of my actual expenses, and I use FreshBooks. So on the 2nd of January, I get billed $19.95 each month for cloud accounting and invoicing. That's a basic need for my business. I need to understand my financial picture, and FreshBooks helps me to do that. So I need that. That's an expense. Then I have ConvertKit and Photoshop and my Business by Design podcast website, which is hosted on Squarespace. That is also expense in my business as well. So this is an easy way for you guys to lay out some potential expenses and some expenses you guys have right now. I know that'll take a little bit of research for you guys to figure out, if you've been running your business for some time now, for you guys to figure out what it is you're spending on. But you can take a look at your statements, at your credit card statements, at your debit card statement, in order to figure out what it is that you're spending money on if you don't know on the top of your head. But you do want to lay these out, and you do want to understand whether you're paying annually or monthly for each expense, so you can figure out how much money you need to make each month or each quarter in order to sustain your business. Okay, so we're going to talk about where your money is going to come in from. So if you're starting a business, you want to figure out how you're going to make money. How are you going to get paid, and how will you get paid? Are you going to run on a flex or a fixed revenue model? Do you know how much you are making each month and each quarter? That's a little bit more advanced, but that's something we'll talk about after we go through revenue a little bit. So I'm going to go back to the workbook. This is page 3, and the easiest way for us to start putting your business goals in perspective, especially in terms of money, is to figure out how you're going to get paid and where your income is going to come in from. So if you're a life coach, your income is going to, of course, come from one-on-one clients, and it's also going to come from maybe courses and ebooks and other resources that you might want to create in order to diversify your income a little bit. So you want to figure that out at first. If you're in your workbook right now, on page 3, I want you guys to write that down. I want you to list out all the ways you're going to make money. Are you going to do one-on-one client work? Are you going to sell products, or going to sell digital products? What are you going to sell in order for your business to make money? And then we're going to figure out how you're going to get paid. So after you list all those things out, let me give you guys a moment to do that, because you want to get a clear picture of what you want your income coming in from and how you want to make money in your business. As I give you guys a minute, just going to look over in the chat. Awesome, guys. And if you have some ideas as to where your income is going to come in from, feel free to type them in the chat and share it with us so we can talk about it a little bit. So are you going to do one-on-one services? Are you going to do one-to-many services, which would be like courses or ebooks and other knowledge materials that you can sell as well? Cool. Okay, so now that I gave you guys a couple of minutes to write down where your income is coming from, now we're going to figure out how you're going to get paid. So how are these things going to make money? And how will you get paid? So maybe if you're doing one-on-one services, you are going to get paid incrementally. So you'll maybe have a fixed price where maybe you charge $2,000 for each session, and you're going to get paid incrementally. Maybe this session or program is 3 to 4 weeks long. Then you're going to divide the amount that you're going to get paid throughout the course of the program. And you want to figure this out before you start selling or before you start improving your products, so that way you can understand where your money is going to come in from and when and how you can expect it. And then after that, you want to figure out how you'll get paid. You want to figure out whether you're going to invoice these clients, or are you going to just create a storefront where you just sell it and process the payment right then and there. So you want to figure these things out as you go through your business. You also want to figure out how much money you're going to be making each month and each quarter, or at least figure out your goals for each month and each quarter. If you're first starting out, you're not going to have this information with you, but you're going to figure it out as you go along. So you want to figure out how to start making these revenue goals, and you want to figure out how much you want to make each month in order to cover your expenses, but also have some profit, and each quarter as well. Okay, so this is my own revenue model. Here's an example of my own. So I do one-on-one web design services, and here is an example of an accounts receivable that I have. So when you're working with one-on-one services, you'll have two different types of payments. You'll have accounts receivable and accounts received. So whether you receive the payment already or you're going to receive the payment. So this first one that I have here as an example is an amount that I am going to be paid. So this is not an amount that I've made yet. It's an accounts receivable, which means I'm going to be paid that. And I include that in my revenue model because it's something that I expect to make. And then I also have some courses on Teachable that I have already been paid for. That's part of my revenue model. I have retainer clients, which means clients that hire me on an ongoing basis. And for that, I'm paid monthly times the amount of clients that I have on retainer. And that's part of my revenue model as well. Then client maintenance also comes in. If you're a business coach or a life coach or any coach, you would want to have ongoing support for your clients, and you would want to make sure that that they are on track and doing what they need to do, and that is something that you can include in your revenue model. So I do client maintenance because that's how I make sure that the clients I work with and design websites for are doing what they need to do to sustain their own business and to use their website properly to attract customers or run their business efficiently. So you want to make sure that you include all these things in your revenue model. So in your workbook, go ahead and jot some of the things that you are going to be charging for. Jot some of the things that you know you will make money from, whether you're a product business or a service business. Figure out what it is that you are going to sell in order to sustain your business. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know I keep saying that, but I really want to know if I'm helping you guys out, or if you're confused on something, or if you're following along just okay, let me know as well so that we can continue. I usually teach classes and workshops in person, so I usually see how everyone's interacting, but in this type of medium, I can't do that. So I can't really see you guys or help you guys in person, so I really want to, and that's why I keep asking if you guys need any questions answered or need any help on anything, so that I can make sure that you guys are on track and following along with me. Since this is since you can only hear and see my PowerPoint, I can't really talk to you guys one-on-one, but I do want to make sure that you guys are following along. Okay, so financial steps. Let's calculate your profit margins. So this is another page in the workbook, falling right after expenses. And here we're going to talk about how your profit is calculated. So it's pretty simple. You're going to calculate your profit with the amount of revenue you make minus your expenses. But your profit margin is a little bit different, and it's calculated a little bit different. Following. Anon 3439 is following. Awesome, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Do let me know your name, Anon 3439. Okay, so calculating your profit margin is a little bit different. And the reason you want to know your profit margin is just so you can understand your financial snapshot a little bit better. So if your profit margin is too low, you'll figure out that you need to make more sales, or you need to decrease your expenses in order for you to make up that amount. So it's a good way for you to really understand where your profit stands. So to figure out your profit margin, it's going to be a little different than the easy revenue minus expenses formula. So to find your profit margin, you're going to divide your gross profit by the total revenue generated, then multiply that number by 100 to get the profit margin percentage. So let's say your revenue is $1,000 and your expenses are $100. Oh, let's say your profit is $100 and your revenue is $1,000. So that means that your expenses were $900. If you do the formula and you divide your profit 100 by the revenue generated 1,000 and you multiply that by 100, you get 10%. So your profit margin there is 10%. That's too low. It's too low of a profit margin. You want to decrease costs in order for you to sustain your business, or you want to increase your products or services in order to sustain your business properly. That's a little something to think about. Oh, Denise, you're still here. Awesome. I'm so glad that you're still here. Sorry about the chat being a little weird and just calling you Anon3439. That's a little funny. But yeah, so you want to know your profit or your expected profit so you can help set your own goals. And you want to keep your financial snapshot in mind so you can understand where your business is doing well and where it needs to improve. That's something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's move on to what are your products and services and where are they being sold? Okay, so in my own business, I sell web design services. I sell that through my website. Also sell courses through Teachable and Teachery. And I sell client maintenance and retainers through my clients. So here's a little bit of my my service and product model going along with revenue as well. And you can see that it adds up. I add my services, my one-on-one services. I add my one-to-many services, which is my courses. I also add all the other extras that I sell to my clients. And they're all sold in different ways and in different avenues, but they all add up to my financial picture. And I really understand that this is how my revenue model works, that I not only run a web design business where I design websites, I run a business that has multiple streams of income. So I'm not only selling one-on-one services, but I'm also selling extras and courses that allow me to sustain my business regardless of what happens. Okay. And gave an example earlier in the webinar where I talked about Christy, who sells jewelry. So you want to figure out where your products and services are sold, whether you're a service-based business, as I showed you earlier in this slide with my own example, or you're a product-based business where you're Christy and you're selling jewelry. Here are some ways that you would sell your jewelry. You would sell it through your website, plus you would sell your homemade jewelry on Etsy, plus you would make custom jewelry orders through your website and through Etsy. And you might also do something extra where you do like trunk shows, where you sell your jewelry in person, or you have a little shop set up and you sell your jewelry that way. All these 5 ways add up to your revenue model. You're making money through 5 different revenue streams. And you're not only selling jewelry, you're selling jewelry on your website, on Etsy, making custom jewelry on your website and Etsy, and you're also selling in person. So that's a little thing to think about. If you want, in your workbook, you can actually make these circles and write down the product or service that you sell and where you're going to sell it. So that you can add all these things up and really see where your money is going to come in from. Okay. And of course, we want to figure out how many clients or customers you've served in each. So how many people are you serving through your website? How many people are you serving through the different avenues that you sell your products and services through? What do your numbers look like? Do you serve clients and customers, or do you just serve clients? Or do you just sell to customers? So what mine looks like is I take on 2 to 3 clients a month, and then I also take on 10 to 15 students a month through my courses. So the amount of people I serve is usually about 13 to 18. And of course, you want to figure out, if you already have a business and you have been doing this for some time, you want to figure out if you're happy with the volume that you serve. Are you happy with the amount of clients you work with? Are you happy with the amount of customers you have each month? And what are your goals going forward as to how many you want to serve, how many people and customers you want to sell to? Okay, so in your financial goals page, you want to notice the opportunities to improve your business. What can you improve first? What can you do to increase your revenue, lower your expenses and costs, increase your profit margin, and acquire more clients and customers on the platforms that work best for you? Okay, I'm going to check up on the webinar just to make sure that we're doing all right. Awesome, awesome. So glad we have no technical difficulties today. Today's been really awesome in terms of the way it's worked and its setup and how seamless it's been for me to really teach you guys the content that I have for you today. Okay, let's jump back in. So you want to notice how to improve your business and what you can do to utilize the platforms that are working best for you. Okay, marketing. So there are two types of marketing that still exist today, although some people may argue they do not. Inbound marketing and the traditional marketing way where you would sell ads or like door-to-door selling and stuff like that. So traditional marketing and inbound marketing. And you want to realize that your business can be marketed in different ways through different mediums. And no one marketing method will successfully work for every business. So all these things you hear about how to increase your number of subscribers through this email list strategy, or how to make a six-figure income through marketing in a certain way. All these things worked for those people that talk about it most often. So I know a couple of people in my industry that do this, that say they've made six figures just by doing Facebook Live, or they've acquired a huge email list just by being on Periscope or Snapchat. And these are all methods that have worked for them, but no one marketing method will successfully work for every business. So for your business, you want to figure out what works for you. What platforms are you marketing on that you've seen a return in? What platforms you want to be on that you think might have a return for you? But not all marketing methods will work for every single business. And it depends on you. It depends on the business that you run. It also depends on the type of client or customer you're trying to acquire. Okay, so businesses use a combination of traditional marketing, which is word of mouth, advertising through physical ads and props, and inbound marketing. Not all social media platforms are right for you, so don't try to do this to where you're on every social media platform ever created. And I think it's important to realize that you don't have to be on all these platforms. You don't have to be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope. You don't have to be on all of them. You only have to be active on the ones that you love to use, the ones that you see your target customer, your target client really showing up on. And you don't want to overwhelm yourself and spread yourself too thin with trying to figure out all these different platforms and trying to figure out how you can make sales through all these different platforms. You want to only use the ones that work for you, the ones you love to use, and the ones that you see your target customer or target client using as well. So stick to what you love and what you know. And I want you guys in your workbook to list these out. List all the platforms you currently have an account or a name for your business on, whether you use your own account to market your business or use a separate account on any of the social media platforms. I want you guys to write them all down and figure out whether you really use them and which ones you utilize most, where you see your clients hanging out, where you see your potential customers hanging out. List all these things out so you can figure out which ones to spend more time on. Spend more time on the ones that you love to use and that you know that you would be able to market to your target customer or client on. So again, which tools and platforms do you currently use, and which platforms have you seen the most engagement on? So write all these things down and really try to look through patterns. If you're someone who loves Facebook, but you don't like getting on video, maybe you don't want to utilize Facebook Live. Maybe you want to stick to what you know and really try to understand what types of posts will receive the most engagement, how you can create organic reach, or how you can figure out how to really sell and convert to the clients and customers that are already on your Facebook page. Or if you are someone who loves Twitter, like I love Twitter, you want to figure out how it is that you can talk to your customers and clients better so they feel like they're genuinely communicating with you as a business owner, whereas they don't feel as you're selling them something. So something like that. You want to figure all those things out. Okay, and while you guys write that, I'm just going to check up on the chat. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty, and the very last thing we're going to talk about today, which is also in the Plan Your Business Goals workbook, is goal setting. So you want to create attainable goals that help you grow your business at your own pace. You want to set realistic deadlines for these goals and create actionable steps to reach your goal and check them off as you go along. You don't want to create this long to-do list of things that you want to accomplish this year, let alone this month, and you never see yourself making any progress towards any of them. You want to make sure that you create things that you might actually get done, and you help yourself make goals that are attainable so you can take steps necessary to reach even bigger goals. You don't want to make start a business your goal of the year, because that's not a attainable goal. What's attainable is setting up your business website and figuring out your business name, figuring out what you sell. Those are attainable goals that will help you start your business, but starting a business itself is not something that you write on your to-do list and just get done one day. You need to take actionable steps that will allow you to start a business, because starting a business is a big goal, but it's not an attainable goal until you break it down and you really write down the steps that you need to take in order to do that. Okay, so that is the very last thing that we've talked about today. And in conclusion, we've talked about your financial snapshot. We've talked about marketing a little bit. We also talked about what it is you sell, who it is you sell to, and what your revenue model looks like. So those are things that come in the Plan Your Business Goals workbook. And these are just things that are like the foundation of your business. How you're going to make money, who you're going to sell to, what it is you sell, and why. Yeah, so that is what I have for you guys today. So let's jump into the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and I will take it over to myself so you guys can see me again. Okay, so I'm back. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask in the chat. I am here to answer any questions you guys have, whether they're specific towards your own business or just very general. We can talk about it a little more. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed what I have for you today. I know it was a little shorter than anticipated. I did want to interact with you guys, but I think that next webinar, the webinar that I'm hosting on January 9th, where I talk about your business game plan, I think that might be a little bit more interactive. So that will take longer than an hour. And in that webinar, if you guys want to sign up, you can go ahead and go to zobialv.com. So the website you're on right now, and just type /webinars, and you can sign up for the second webinar, which is this Monday, on the 9th at 3 p.m. as well. And we're going to talk specifically about your business game plan, which is how to run your business, all the systems and processes you need to actually get out there and operate your business. So that's what we're going to talk about on Monday. If you guys want to join that, it's completely free as well. There is no workbook for that, but we will really get down into understanding how you operate your business in that webinar. If you guys want to sign up for that, I'll just include still determining which idea to go with. Denise, what are some ideas that you have? Let me know what ideas you are currently contemplating with, and we can figure it out together. And I'm so glad that you like the information. Hope to see you guys at my next webinar. Of course I can't type in my own chat box. Isn't that ridiculous? It won't let me type in the chat box. Okay, so if you click this link, you guys can sign up for the webinar on Monday. Again, it's completely free and completely pitch free. Fitness blog and jewelry. Okay, cool. That's two very different industries. Can I ask you what you've wanted to do most, or what have you had more experience in? Because what I would suggest is to do both, but one at a time. So you would start your fitness blog and you would see where it takes you and work on it for as long as you can, achieving all the goals that you want to achieve, and then you're going to move on to your jewelry shop or your jewelry business. But you're not going to let go of your fitness blog. You're going to keep working on it, but you're going to get the foundation and you're going to start building a community around your blog way before you start your jewelry business. So you can do both things, but you'd have to launch them separately. And you'd have to make sure that you have enough time in between where you can really just make the shift for yourself and for those who follow you. So I want to ask which one you're more interested in doing, but I do want you to do both. I don't think that you need to pick one. I think that you need to pick one to begin with so you can start moving your way into that industry. And then when you feel like you can take on another project, then you would go on and do the jewelry thing first, or vice versa. You can do one, you can do the jewelry thing first and the fitness blog second, but I do think you should take one, focus on that, and see where it takes you, see where you're going to go with it, and what happens as you would try to achieve your goals, whether you want to make money with your blog or you want to build a great community around your blog. Work on it until you feel that you have space for another project. That's what I would suggest for that. Yeah, and it's hard to pick, especially when you're such a diverse person with a lot of ideas. It's very hard to pick. But making the distinction of saying, okay, from January through June, I'm going to work on my fitness blog, and then from July through December, I'm going to work on selling jewelry, is being able to understand that there are only a certain number of goals you can achieve in a certain period of time. Not sure, but probably the blog, since I have that wants to help. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, so do it. I challenge you to go ahead and start that fitness blog and really see where it goes. And once you've started it, you've executed it, and you continue to work on it, I would say look into figuring out what your next step is, what your next project is, and just keep going. Get it out there, start working on it, build a community around it, make the amount of money that you want to make from it, and then keep going, keep creating things. I know that's hard to do. I'm that exact way where I want to create a million things at once, and what I've always had a hard time with was figuring out what I need to do for each project at a certain time. But what is more important is figuring out at what time frame each project lands in, so that you're not putting your hand in too many different buckets all at once. You're just focusing on one bucket at a time, and then after you finish with one, you move on to the next, and then move on to the next. And that's something I've always had a hard time with doing, but there are some things that you can do together. For example, I run a podcast as well, the Business by Design podcast, where that is an ongoing project that just happens on the side, where I can't just drop my web design business or focus more on the podcast, but I can work on my web design business and focus more on that and just continue to do the podcast as I go along. So there are some things like that, some cases where you can do that, but you want to make sure you're not draining yourself, and you want to make sure you're not overwhelmed with all the different things you have to do, so that you're in the same headspace as you keep progressing in your goals and keep furthering your business or your blog along. Awesome. Are there any other questions, guys? I'm happy to answer. And yes, there will be a replay to this webinar. I will also send you guys my slides so you guys have it. And the replay would just be on this page, so you guys can just watch it whenever, but I'll just send out an email kind of recapping everything that I talked about today, just so you guys have that. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Be sure to sign up through the link. That's zobiaalvi.com/webinars, so you guys can sign up for my next webinar, which is on Monday at 3 p.m. And again, if you can't make it live, there will be a replay for that one. It's a different webinar. We're going to talk about your operational plan, so how you're going to run your business, how you're going to create systems and processes in place so that you can run it the most efficient way possible, and how you're going to overall operate your business, how you're going to calculate your revenue or expenses, how you're going to really put everything together and really get down to business. So that's the webinar on Monday. Awesome. So yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to hang around in the chat for a few more minutes, but I am here. If you guys want to hear me answer your questions instead. And I'm super glad you're here with me today, Denise. I hope that you took something away from this, and you do achieve your goals. You do start your blog. You do start your jewelry business. Awesome. Great. Okay, I'll stick around for a couple more minutes in the chat. I'll be here. You guys can also tweet at me at Zobia Alvi, so that's ZOBIA-ALVI, and I'll answer your questions throughout the day, throughout the weekend, whatever you need to talk to me, because I do love understanding different business models, and I do love helping people. Of course, yeah. Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for joining me today. And again, hope you guys took something away from this webinar. If you do want to learn more, have the business game plan workshop that you can sign up for. It's completely free at zobiaalvi.com/webinars. And I'll see you then. I'll stick around in the chat for a couple more minutes in case you guys have some questions. You guys can tweet me as well. So I'm accessible pretty much everywhere. But I had fun introducing this topic to you guys. It's a little piece of my course, which is coming out January 14th, which I'm really excited about. It's called the Do-It-Yourself Business Plan, a program to help people really understand how to plan their business for success. So if you guys want to learn more, you can click on the link on the bottom of this page. And also do click on the registration link to sign up for the webinar on Monday. So thanks for being here, guys. It was nice meeting you and talking about your businesses. Hope to see you guys next time, and enjoy the rest of your Friday, guys.